All right, guys. Welcome to a special Christmas edition of 5 Minutes with Mike. I am your host, Michael Beckford, and today's topic is Nicki Minaj is getting dragged online, primarily by Black Twitter, Black Instagram, Black YouTube, whatever, blackity, black. She's getting dragged by everybody when it comes down to her recent appearance into TPUSA and other things that happened recently as of late with Nicki Minaj.
This is 5 Minutes with Mike, our news, our voice, and our opinion. With your host, Michael Beckford. Now stop, listen, and pay attention for 5 Minutes with Mike.
And we're going to get right to it in a minute. All right, guys, I am not recording on a professional microphone right now. I'm not recording in a controlled environment. I am outside right now here in beautiful South Florida, on my way to see my daughter in a moment here on Christmas Day. Just getting off the train and decided to put this episode together for you guys because I just been seeing there's just a trending online when it comes down to what's going on with Nicki Minaj, and looks like she's gonna lose a lot of her precious barbs. As a matter of fact, according to reports, which I don't know how credible the reports are, but Nicki Minaj, according to reports, has lost about 10 million followers, 10 million of her fans on Instagram, which is quite a bit amount of people. I mean, that's a whole freaking major city right there. 10 million right there. And also, this is actually something of noteworthy. She also deleted, suspended, whatever, restricted. But more so, she's basically not on Instagram right now. So people are saying she deleted it. Most likely she just, taking a break from Instagram. We all know how to do that on Instagram, where you can, have your account to go to restricted mode or something like that so nobody can see it, interact with you, whatever the case may be. So most likely that's probably what she's decided to do. But that's neither here nor there. But it is pretty wild considering this is a woman that's usually very, always on Instagram, always talking about, this person, that person, always talking trash. Now, by the way, I like Nicki Minaj. I love her music. I grew up on a lot of her music. A lot of her stuff, she got some hits. I mean, she is very talented, a very talented woman. But I think a lot of her credibility, of course, has come from the Black community, and from the culture, from Black culture, that is. And so to now do a complete 360 in regards to where she's going, essentially, she's losing fans in the droves. But before we talk about what happened at TPUSA, let's talk about before that. So before the TPUSA event, Nicki Minaj commented on what Donald Trump had commented on in regards to the false claims that Nigerian government were just slaughtering Christians, right? This is false. But Donald Trump said on his True Social, basically, and I went over this through one of my YouTube shorts. He said on his True Social that the Nigerian government better do something quickly, and if not, he was hinting that there's going to be some U.S. military retaliation if the quote-unquote Nigerian government stops unaliving Christians. Well, it had nothing to do with the Nigerian government, first and foremost. And then what he's talking about is was a very small sect of individuals that did, of course, unalive Christians. But of a population of millions, it just not, this wasn't a thing. And me as a Christian, of course, I did my own research because I was like, okay, wait a minute, what's going on here? Like, why is it that, is this true? And of course, I always take what Donald Trump says. Unfortunately, even though he's the president of the United States, I take what he says with a grain of salt because the dude wakes up, goes to sleep.
This episode of 5 Minutes with Mike is brought to you by Michael D. Beckford's newest book, Homeboys. Everybody has a homeboy, or friends call his own. The best friend you kick it with at the family barbecue. The one you trust to bring around your lady without raising a red flag. A homeboy will play video games, smoke, and chill. A homeboy is a nigga you can ride or die, and the one you sleep with on the low. Homeboys, available in ebook and paperback or wherever books are sold.
Lying. He wakes up, goes to sleep, pees, takes a dump, freaking lying. He's the liar in chief. And anyway, so this is where, it kind of caught me off guard when Nicki Minaj was like, yeah, she basically replied to Trump's Truth Social tweet. And she's like, yeah, I mean, we got to respect the Christians and blah, blah, blah. And I love you for this, basically, pretty much giving him out adoration for what he's going to do, or what he's supposedly supposed to do if, quote unquote, the Nigerian government doesn't conform to this false narrative, by the way. Like I said, once again, that, there was just this overwhelming, slaughter of Christians in the Nigerian country, which is, like I said, is untrue. Is it happening? Of course, but not all, Muslims are also being unalived in Nigeria as well. So, yeah, so this is false. So that was act one of what Nicki Minaj had done, and I was like, okay, whatever. She had her. It is what it is. She had her opinion. I'm not gonna stop listening to music because of that. Whatever. But then now, she's made a couple other comments, and then here comes the I guess as you would say, her coming out story. If you would, and not in a sense of coming out towards her sexuality, but coming out in the sense of, hey, I'm with you guys. And with you guys meaning the conservative right, which is mostly conservative white, which is mostly evangelical, aka Christians, right? With big quotation marks on the Christian part, because how can you be Christian in my mindset and you don't believe in serving the poor, which we have a lot of poor here in America. You don't believe serving the poor the way it should be. You believe that people should just be able to, pick themselves up by the bootstrap, for which we know that is physically impossible for someone to just pick themselves up by their bootstraps. When you hate migrants, when, of course, this whole country is full of migrants or immigrants, it was founded on immigrants, unless you're a Native American aka native, that we're native to this country, you're an immigrant. And whether that immigration was forced, aka through slavery, or it was driven because of economics, aka the Italians that came here, the Greeks, all the Europeans that came here, and of course, the Mexicans and others, right? Unless that immigration was due to, things that happen to your own nation, this country is a country of immigrants. So when you have these evangelical whites, right, with an organization under the umbrella of TPUSA, Turning Point USA, invite an individual such as Nicki Minaj, right? Now, her name says something, okay, right? That ain't quote-unquote Christian-like, but you invited her because she shared this one particular belief as you guys. And then to make the token Negro on the icing on the cake of the token Negro's candle is she's brought out hand in hand by Erica Kirk, which we know is the wife of the slain, disgraced Charlie Kirk. So she's brought out hand in hand with Erica Kirk, and as if this is some kind of pony and dog show. And then then Nicki Minaj expresses her views, and she made a comment that was very off-putting, by the way, with J.D. Vance. But at the end of the day, I believe why black Twitter and all these other individuals are dragging her, like completely dragging her online, and why she's losing her barbs, she's losing her followers and fans altogether, is because of the fact that she really did do a turning point. She really did have a turning point. And that is, she went from her roots, that was rooted, her foundation in the black community. Matter of fact, by the way, she's an island girl. She's not, you know what I'm saying? She's not originally from the United States. So her people are from the islands, but that's for a whole other conversation. And so she did this whole about face, talking about how Donald Trump is the best president since sliced bread, essentially. And, you know, all these particular things, when Donald Trump is anti-black, everything that when it comes down to the black community, he's against. And then, of course, a lot of individuals that are in the barbs are part of the LGBT community. You know what I'm saying? And so with those individuals that are in the LGBT community, like, wait a minute, this alt-right group, this Turning Point USA, they don't support us. No, they're against us. Trump leads the way when it comes down being against them. He's like, no trans person can serve in the military, and we don't want these people in women's sports and whatever, and blah, 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 blah. You know, all these things, it's been a very anti-trans movement that, you know, and propaganda that these people have had from the time that they ran those very successful commercials, by the way, when Trump was running for office, when it said, Kamala is for they, them, and I am for you. You know, and here he is in office right now. So the point is, with Nicki Minaj, some are saying that she's doing this to help her husband, who is on the registered offenders list in a, you know, sexual way. So, you know, people are saying this to help him, maybe get a pardon from the president, get him on a nice clean slate. Some people are saying it's something in regards to her immigration status. I don't know. I thought that she was a U.S. citizen. I don't know what's going on with that when it comes down to it. But I can say this: Nicki Minaj, she's been in the limelight for over 20 years now. Nicki freaking Minaj better get her act together, because at the end of the day, by the way, guys, I like Nicki. I like her music. I like a lot of her music, I should say. And I like what she has stood on business in some cases. But like I said, this is a total about face and a spit in the face to her barbs, her diehard supporters, to now go to this organization, which to me is a white grievance organization, by the way, especially if any of you guys look at what J.D. Vance said recently on stage at Turning Point USA, and most of the speakers that spoke on Turning Point USA stage. But neither here nor there, this organization does not reflect the views and values of black people. Let's just be real. It does not reflect the views and values of LGBTQ people. Let's just be real. It only reflects the views and values of individuals that, quote unquote, want to make America great again. And they hint at those, you know, the 1960s, before black people basically had rights to do anything, essentially. That type of style. And so, listen, I never want anybody to be canceled. I'm not for people being canceled. But it's not a problem if she wants to sit down. She deleted her Instagram, you know, take a break, whatever. Go ahead, take a break. But at the end of the day, I think Nicki Minaj is heading in the wrong direction. But maybe for her, she's heading in the right direction. She got money. I think she'll be okay. But I think that we are seeing, as I've been seeing online as well, I think that we're seeing the unfolding of an entire career based on this particular decision. And hey, as I wrap up this episode here, this Christmas Day, Merry Christmas, everybody. But at the end of the day, you have a right to make a choice as an artist, as a person, as a whatever, on which way that you want to go. But at the end of the day, your fans make you. If you guys don't watch my YouTube videos, guess what? The algorithm is going to say, oh, well, people don't like this content creator. We're not going to show this to other people because people don't like it. And obviously my channel is a very, very micro channel at this point. But guess what? People still watch some of my videos, right? Get some views here and there. You guys are listening and watching to this right now. That makes sense. So imagine the artist on the level of Nicki Minaj losing millions of followers. That's going to do something to her ticket sales. The next time she does a show, that's going to do something to her album sales. The next time she tries to drop. Because those followers, most times when a follower leave, especially a diehard Barb, if they leave, they ain't coming back. All right, guys, this is the episode. Enjoy your day with your family, friends, loved ones, whoever it is. And guys, please definitely make sure you like, subscribe. And if you're a Barb that's still going to love Nicki no matter what, hey, put that in the comment. If you do not no longer like Nicki because of the recent moves, definitely put that in the comments as well. I want to hear about it. All right, guys, have a Merry Christmas. Be blessed.
This episode of 5 Minutes with Mike is brought to you by Padsplit. In a pinch and need a place to stay for cheap? Try Padsplit and get $25 credit once approved for a room near you. Locations and restrictions apply. Hit the link below and get approved for your next room. Now, do you have a vacant home that's been listed on the market forever? Make money from your home today using Padsplit. Earn passive income and make it a Padsplit home today. Link in the description below.
Saints, turn with me to, let me find that right quick. Turn with me to page 265 in your hymn books. We gonna sing together, Go Tell It on the Mountain. Go tell it on the mountain, over the hills and everywhere. Go tell it on the mountain, where Jesus Christ is born. The world is crying for a hymnal to sing. We're constantly on the verge to let freedom ring. We look for a new song every chapter of the week. That song may be about a boy or girl who has no food to eat. It may be about a soldier shot in the chest, or police violence during a house arrest. We watch and we pray, we sing and we shout, we clap and we dance, and then we leave out. We really think that we made a difference because the same old hymn that we've always been singing. Go tell it on the mountain, over the hills and everywhere. Go tell it on the mountain, where Jesus Christ is born.
We're born at a time, and we live in an era when no oppressed people will be satisfied to let the oppressor continue to oppress them without doing something about it. And as the oppressed awaken and become very eager to defend themselves, the oppressor himself is going to step up his activity. And step up activity on the part of both will produce an explosion that's just as certain as the rising of the sun on the eastern horizon in the morning.